Boom, a nice old green day in the bag. Today was a day we were able to capitalize a little bit better on a still somewhat shaky small cap market momentum phase, because the last few days, we have those occasional nice entries, right? But then after, the first 15 minutes, for example, the whole entire small cap market kind of just dies down a little bit. And this time I was luckily able to not just get a good entry, but also get a good exit, because the last few trades, I talk about this as well in the recap video that you're going to see in a little bit once I go to the charts. But basically yesterday could have been a super big green day, but I closed all of my trades too fast. So I've been in a little bit of this taking my profits too quickly or cutting my trades too quickly, which is tough because that's usually the good thing to do. But the reason for it is because we haven't been seeing the follow through on a lot of these moves, and we'll get like maybe a second pullback and then ready to have a breakout, which usually would work, but then it doesn't. So today I continue kind of trading scared a little bit, but the first trade really wrapped in most of the profits. The second trade could have been just as profitable, but I got out of it right before the big 14% move. And then the third trade, well, this one actually didn't work out. So cutting my losses, and it actually still made money on that trade, but getting out of that trade when the breakout didn't happen, breakout or bailout, totally worked, because a few minutes after we got out, it hit 11 o'clock, some news came out, and boom, this thing went down 14% in 1 minute. So you got to watch out for things like that. And it's usually why I wrap up trading by 10:30 or 11 o'clock. Quick little fun side note as well is, if you guys can notice, I'm wearing not my typical brown sweater because we got some new apparel in. We got some TradeJournal shirts in, and you can see it looks pretty good with tan pants, and there's also the improve with every trade. Obviously it's all backwards right now in this this camera angle, or the phone that I'm using to record this, but the point is, and this is really what I want to follow up on, I only have one shirt in the store right now because I don't know, it's not something that I really think about, but my brother's on my case. You know Heiko from the South Florida Fishing Channel. He's got a really sweet merch store, and he's always encouraging me to make a merch store. And I did, but I haven't really touched it in quite some time. So this is kind of the test shirt that I made, and it actually turned out really sweet, and I really, really like it. So I want to add a few more shirts. And today I asked you guys during the stream for some shirt ideas, and you guys went all out on ideas. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta rewatch the video, but I think I found, I don't know, there's like 10 at least good shirt ideas. Maybe 5. We got to boil it down a little bit, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how many we can squeeze out of there. So if you guys have any shirt ideas, leave them in the comments below, or get my email in the video description below, alex@tradejournal.co, and email me your shirt idea, because if we use the shirt idea in the TradeJournal store, which you can access at store.tradejournal.co, then you will get a free shirt. And I don't know if that's a super limited time deal or not, but for now, that's the setup. So let's just hope it doesn't bite me in the butt. But I think it's well deserved if you guys come up with some great ideas as well. All right, guys, like always, questions, comments, leave them below. I answer all of them myself. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to leave a like. And if you're totally new here, consider subscribing. We go live every morning at 9:15 a.m. to first review the watch list and then trade the market open every day. I would love to see you in the upcoming chat room. It is some super good fun in there. Let's go to the charts now, and then it's weekend. All right, guys, welcome to the recap video. Let's start with BLIN, which was our first trade on the day, and it was also our lead gapper. So let me actually zoom out a little bit here. Ooh, gotta zoom out a lot because this one was very thickly traded. This was a huge gap up, about 100%. And then even more than that, right into the market open. There's so much I liked about this stock. I almost didn't even bother looking at anything else, although I did, because I knew right out of the gates, this is gonna be our lead gapper. 6 million market cap, 2.8 million shares outstanding with a float of about 2.5 million, US software and an infrastructure company with positive Q2 results. Any sort of financial results like that are typically really, really nice to hear. Or it's typically a really good catalyst. We have our first leg here, 100%, and then we are consolidating, really, really nice. And then we open up, actually probably around, once we start making a trend upwards here, about 225. This was our kind of the second leg attempt. Big resistance at 3. I didn't really want to be part of it. If you go to the daily chart, you can see $3. We had multi-month resistance tops and bottoms in this area. Just want to be really, really careful here. And also on BLN, we have many of these spikes to the upside, these gaps these gap up days that do not actually hold very well. So the highs don't always hold. Actually, they almost never hold. And a lot of the big green days are kind of a one-time thing. So they don't have BLIN. I don't know if I've been saying that wrong this whole time. BLIN doesn't have those 1, 2, 3, 4th big green days in a row. Sometimes we'll see that, but with BLIN, it was almost a sure thing that it was going to find some big resistance at one point and then just pull back. But this thing had so much momentum behind it. It was a clear lead gapper. This is the stock that everyone's looking at, and a lot of people are going to be waiting for a open range breakout here at 2.25 because this is the pre-market high. So this is what everyone's looking at. And that was kind of the thesis behind my first trade. So let's just zoom in a little bit here and talk about this first trade here. Kind of going back here a little bit. Boom. Okay, so this is pre-market. This is right before the market opens actually. And at 9:29, you can see we found a bit of a low. We broke higher here. We're back in this really kind of key support and resistance area between 2.2 and 2.4. We're trending in this area and we're back above VWAP here. And once we start kind of trending above the 15-minute EMA, we have a nice breakout. And we were looking at this in the stream here before the market opened at about 9:16. We were talking about this. This could be a really nice first big pullback and a continuation, and it was about a 9% move. So let's kind of forward here into the market open. Instantly, this BLIN pops up and we break 2.6, and I'm like, hold up. This is looking like a really good entry. I was able to get in on this one at 2.57. Really, really nice quick entry on this one. I'm actually quite surprised I got that one. And instantly we run up all the way in that same 1 minute to 281. So you can kind of see it here. Or actually we ran up to 2.9 something, 2.9 exactly. And that's where I got out at the 83. So if you just come here, we had an entry here at 257, and then we got out in the same minute on the 52, 9:30 a.m. and 52 seconds. So this whole trade was just about 40 seconds. That's quite crazy, actually. Let me see if I could do the math in my head here. 40.
Eventually.
So 36 seconds. That's quite a quick trade, but that trade was 10%, pretty sweet on that one. Really, really quick. I was thinking about doing a potential second entry, but a lot of the times you got to be really quick with these, and I don't like re-entering right away. TOS was also very, very glitchy. You guys probably remember that this morning. I was pretty happy to just get an exit when I did. We had one quick flash pullback back to 2.6, and then again ran up here, almost broke 3, but it didn't work. And then we started kind of, actually in this area, I thought we might actually have a first pullback or kind of a third pullback. So we have, I would say 1, 2, 3, because this was the big breakout past the 2.4 resistance. And I was thinking this could be the third pullback. I don't have a lot of luck with those, so I don't trade them. And then boom, it pulls back again, tries to do a little bounce, and then kind of just pulls back most of the morning. And it was kind of dead to me. I was hoping we would maybe see 2.2 get hit quicker in this area, and I would have bought on that. But we never really saw that. And then it's kind of just been downtrending all day. Although I gotta say, we just had a nice little reversal in this area. And this is kind of funny because on the live stream today, we were kind of talking about, whenever I end the live stream, sometimes there's really nice reversals, and they usually happen, I end the live stream around 11 o'clock. So you can see we had one pullback and then another pullback back to 1.94, and instantly a bounce here, 11% bounce. So sometimes if you start noticing these patterns, and support line bounces are my favorite way to trade. So if you start noticing these patterns over and over again, you can start getting aggressive on these kind of moves. You got to be careful because this is the backside of a big run up and it's selling off. And after 11 o'clock, sometimes you have, or after 10:30, sometimes you have some really mean articles come out or something like that. We'll actually talk about SRNE in a second, which had some articles, some news come out about it. And a lot of times these kind of dip trades, I don't try holding for more than, 5% to me is already pretty nice bounce. When you get a 10% bounce, I'm always taking profits way before then typically, because Yeah, sometimes you'll get really nice reversals, and maybe this will run back to VWAP, but oftentimes I don't really see that kind of follow through, especially once, the stock is in sell-off mode and, trending under VWAP and trending under the 15-minute EMA. So I don't know. To me, I'm not going to be looking at BLIN anymore. To me, it's done. But it was a really, really nice way to open up kind of the trading day. The second trade we took, I actually kind of forgot. What was the second trade? Yeah, TTPH. This one, here, let me pull it up. This was quite a fun little trade, and it's kind of unfortunate because this was our second lead gapper on the day. It's up 70% pre-market, 93 million float, so that was a really big float. Although on TD Ameritrade, it says 7 million shares outstanding. So you can see here, 7 million shares outstanding, but on FinViz, it says the float is 93 million. So I was really confused about that. Anyway, it had a buyout proposal as a catalyst, US biotech, between $2 and $7. So a lot of stuff I'm looking for, but I don't think the window to the upside, it didn't have enough room to run to me. To me, there was big resistance at 2.8 and 2.4. So I was not really too excited about trading TTPH. Although I thought, there is potential for a red to green move. And we were talking about that pre-market, and actually that would have probably been the best kind of time to trade it, right above $2. We dipped about 2.4, ran up 7%, pulled back, and then we ripped here 20%. I wasn't really interested in TTPH until we had this breakout right here, and then I bought on this 1 minute pullback. So we had a 5-minute breakout, 1 minute pullback, still early in the morning, some of my favorite entries, and then it rips up here 15%. Unfortunately, I got chickened out on this one, traded like a frantic squirrel, and unfortunately here I missed this one. So I basically closed my position at 224. There was basically a breakout fake out here, and I wasn't sticking around any longer, which is a little painful because right away the next candle just rips the next two candles, and two candles you can make almost 14%. So we could have ended the day really, really green, but I chickened out on this one, so that was a little unfortunate. TTPH, rest of the day, didn't do much. And like I said, that 2.4 area, I was just very nervous about. And it was up here, so I probably could have gave this one a little bit longer. So I'm a little disappointed how I traded TTPH, and it kind of sums up the way I've been trading a lot lately. I was going through my trades yesterday, and each one of them could have been like a 5 to 10% winner. And somehow I ended yesterday, small, like $7 up on the day. And it's because I closed all of my positions too early. And sometimes because they kept pulling back a little bit more, it would go down like 2-3%, and then it would be the winner. So sometimes right idea, wrong timing. But with trading, breakout or get out. So that's a little bit tough. And it's just how it is sometimes. So I'm happy at least the first one we were able to, I think we got pretty lucky on that one a little bit, but got aggressive at the right time and sold at the right time. Is there anything, with the last trade, SRNE, this was quite wild, and I gotta say, like, this was quite a suspenseful little stock here. Let me quickly pull up a few things. So SRNE, this was not popping up on our scanner. It was getting shouted out in the watch room or the chat room, and the reason it wasn't on my scanner is because it has a market cap of 1.1 billion. So that's past my scanning, what I'm scanning for, and shares outstanding about 210 million. That's huge, way, way huge. And I checked, and their float was 119 million. That's just insane. So this is not typically something I'm trading. I was looking for a potential maybe breakout on SRNE past $5 because we had a nice ABC pattern. So let me talk about this one a little bit, and then we'll kind of look at what it's doing now. So here we have A, B, C, and then ideally you break out here on the D. We didn't get that breakout. We had a pullback, and then this pullback held. When this pullback did not follow through and we had buyers jumping in again, that's when I was like, this is looking actually kind of good. We might get a delayed breakout here. And I entered at the 84 as we broke back above this. And then here at the $5, I was like, can we get a breakout? This is what I'm waiting for. Whew, I gotta breathe. We tested this area like 6 times, and I really let this one kind of, go on a little bit longer because it was such a big company, mid to large cap. Although in the news, it's kind of funny because Jim Cramer says, where did this come out? Right here. has something against coronavirus, will gun the stock. Please be careful, very small cap, tweet from Jim Cramer. So I'm not really sure why he calls it a small cap. To me, small caps are under 500 million, and that's still pretty large. So I don't know. I guess I don't know if there is a real definition for small caps, but kind of an interesting thing there. Anyway, kind of consolidating this area. Wasn't able to break out like 6 times, and I said, you know what? It doesn't look good. I'm out of here. So I closed my position, which was a good thing because eventually this thing actually dropped 13%. Imagine, you know, holding through that and then closing here just for this thing to bounce back up. And this is what I was waiting for. You know, I had a good feeling that we would see this maybe at one point. But, you know, I can't just, you know, stick around and wait for that or also go crazy. Not to mention, I already used all of my trades in my challenge account, so I didn't even have any trades left anyway. When we had this pullback here, I thought there was a direct public offering or some really bad news. But at 11 o'clock, they came out with some news, and it wasn't bad at all. I didn't really see any bad news about this. Hits micro. Yeah, so, I mean, they have some news that their drug ability to completely inhibit the vitro virus. I mean, it sounds like good news. The problem is, let's see, expected to develop standalone therapy. FDA approval for this drug. Yeah, so now we have a little bit more good news coming out, but it wasn't bad news. And I was like, that's weird. Such a strong sell-off. And I'll tell you why. When you are in a position and news comes out and people sell, you're thinking, oh my God, what just happened to this stock? I need to get out too. So, you know, fear selling basically happened, even though it was good news, and it dropped 13%, the stock. So that's crazy. You really got to watch out. It wasn't until, you know, people, okay, let me digest what just happened here. And then they're like, oh my God, this is actually good news. And eventually the stock goes back to the upside. But, you know, after 10:30, getting close to 11 o'clock and then past 11 o'clock, that's when these news articles typically hit the market. And I don't want to be in a trade when the news article hits the market because, you know, imagine all of a sudden, you know, being down 10% on your position. That really, really is horrible. That's why I always say get out of breakout. And many traders say that. So it's a common, there's a reason behind it. Should be interesting to see how far SRNE kind of runs. I think this is going to be a fun one to watch. Maybe this is just the beginning of a longer run, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to be trading it. Maybe we'll see it again Monday. So maybe it's going to be up like $6-7 by the end of the day. Who knows? Anything could happen. For now, I think we're going to be wrapping up here. It was really good fun trading with everyone today. And like I said in the intro, think about shirt ideas. Leave comments below. If we do the shirt idea, then and I publish your shirt, you can get a free shirt. So we'll send you one. So yeah, I already got a whole bunch of ideas from the stream today. You guys were just shouting out ideas. It was quite ridiculous. They were quite good too. So guys, have a great weekend. If you enjoy the content, remember to leave a like. I definitely appreciate it. If you're totally new here, consider subscribing. And yeah, guys, like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.